this afternoon.
Oh, no,
No,
I
for the
can't this
afternoon.
afternoon. I can't. I canceled the afternoon one because you
Oh,
wanted
you
to go this
canceled? Okay.
morning, and I just put another meeting in that spot. So sorry about that.
Oh, no, no worries. No, I didn't know that you canceled. Okay, that's good.
Yep. All right. I think we should be live, and we're going to continue on with our discussion on. We're going to continue on with our discussion for competing design goals. Let me get that screen up. I believe that would be it. There it is.
Yep. I think you're live. I can see you on my end.
All right. Okay, so we are going to continue on our discussion with competing design goals. You implemented our changes so far, so this is a clean copy. Is that right?
I did. Yeah, and I added the references. If you notice, there's now this reference 1, 2, 5, whatever.
I'm going to put track changes on. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the thing. So yeah.
Yep.
Good. So table 1. If you scroll down, you can see screen because I made some changes here. So remember this table, if you scroll down, the table that is highlighted in yellow is the one that I had yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, on Friday. Friday, last time we met. This was the original one, right? So what I end up doing is there was a website that you found during our call, but you lost. So I found it and I got this information from, which now I can reference, and it's reference 5 in our list. And I guess it kind of pretty much conveys the whole thing. But what I end up doing is if you go to the left-hand side under the sound energy, scroll down, please.
Right here,
yeah.
Acoustic.
So here, yeah. So I added the OSHA. Remember we talked about required mitigation efforts? I added it in the text instead of the table. So I'll be consistent with our source. But I was wondering if you have a reference for this OSHA thing. Because I think it's good, valuable information to add, right? So I took it out of the table and I put it in the text.
Yeah, OSHA. So this would be OSHA sound level. Well, there's OSHA's permissible exposure limit is an 8-hour TWA noise level of 90 decibels. One-time exposure is reduced by half for each 5 decibels. So let me go to this here. Back. Here is a document. I'm just trying to find a so close that. Bring this up. So this is a occupation. This is OSHA. Center for Disease estimates that 22 million workers are exposed to potentially damaging noise. Yada, yada, yada. National Institute for Occupational Safety, NEOSH, sound level meter app. Oh, there's an app. That's interesting.
Yeah, I read about that. It's interesting. I didn't know that.
So what did we have? We had 85. Okay, so here it is. Here's the reference. OSHA requires employers to implement a hearing conservation program when noise exposure is at or above 85 decibels average over 8 working hours or an 8-hour time-weighted average. Hearing conservation programs. So let's click on that.
Okay. So I need this reference here so I can include, I can change the wording to match what they said. Okay, this is good to
have. According involving occupation hearing loss. So 1904, general industry, 1910. Let's look at 1910.95. Here we go. So I like to reference actual law.
Yeah, the actual stuff. Thing.
Yeah. So but see, what's interesting is they have 90. These are permissible. Okay, so this is 90. Where's the 85? There it is. The employer shall administer. There we go. 1910. Let me give you. I'm going to put this in the chat.
Yeah, please. I'll take it, put it in my copy, so at least I know this file. Yeah, go to chat here.
That is if I can find my Teams. Where is? How do I get to my Teams? Hold on. I have to find my Teams link here.
If it's easier for you, just maybe put it in the file that you're editing.
I found it.
As I say, put it in the file that you're editing, and I will take it
But I
after the
found
meeting.
it. But I found it. So
It's good.
we send.
It
All
says
right.
Thomas is typing. Got it.
There it is. Okay, so whoa, what happened? So the reference to the 85 decibels is 1910.95C1. Control C, and then what I'll do also is put that into our document. OSHA ref.
Yeah, I just did it in my
We've got to
couple.
think about how we're going to do OSHA references as well.
I will add it to the list of references, so it will be whatever the thing is. I will like she said 1910, whatever it's called. Or, yeah, 1910-95. So I will add this. I can say section blah blah for 19.
What I would think is maybe shut this. I think we have to how to do that. Anyway, I think we have to. We just got to think about it because it's 1910. It's I think is that 29 CFR 1910. Hold on. So it's part number 1910. There's a CFR in front of it. Code of Federal. I think it's 29. Code of Federal Regulations. Yeah, 29. So it's it's 29 CFR 1910, and then subpart G 1910-95. So in any case, I got the link, but that's I think the 29 CFR is important. 1910 Occupational Safety and Health is the standard, is the title for 1910. Subpart G title is Occupational Health and Environmental Control, and then you have the section 1910.95. And the title of that is Occupational Noise Exposure. So if I click on 95, 1910-95. Oh, that's yeah. So that's this title for the 1910.95, and it's broken down into A, B, C. Here, hearing conservation program is it. So it's hearing conservation program, and then the employer shall administer in 85 decibels. But what's interesting is that they put the 8-hour time weighted average sound level. So I that's not a topic for this paper, but that time weighted average and how you calculate that would be interesting too.
Yeah, I never heard of that before, so it's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So we got the reference for that. And that's a hot link. It should be. No, it's not. I'm going to put the link in.
I copied the link from a chat. I have it. I have the link.
Yeah, all right. I'm just going to put it in there just so we have it. It's part of the document. Probably more so for me than anything else, you know?
Yeah. And so since we're talking about this table, so I'm going to get rid of this table highlighted in yellow because we don't need it anymore. This was your table, which we couldn't reference. So now I have one, I think, that is referenceable. But I have a question for you. So you said the 165 decibel level is the arc flash event. Do we have a reference for this? Because I couldn't find it anywhere. That's why I did not include it in the previous table.
Yeah. Let me look at my NFPA 70E meaning arc flash, right? So we're looking for
Arc flash event. I guess arc blast probably decibels. It says 165, but I couldn't find the reference for it.
You know, that I think might be, I remember we did a video and we recorded the, we recorded some stuff and I thought it was based on that, but I just, oh man. Did you check 1584?
No, I have
no.
no.
You know what? Let me look at 70E. Let me look at 70E. Going to open 70E and just search for what that number was. What, 165?
165, yeah, decibels.
All right, 165. Let me just search for 165 in 70E. Let me try 160. All right, so there it is. Sound levels can reach. All right, so Control F, 160. Read that. 130.7a general. I think it's in the enhanced content. Let me look.
But the thing is, Tom, the one I could find, it's in Z462, the Canadian one. I already included in the text. So if you read my text, it says 130 decibels, not 165.
So here's what I found in 70E. So what 70E says, sound levels can exceed 160 decibels during an arc flash. Short-term exposure to 140 decibels can cause permanent hearing damage. So, and I can't remember where I got the 165, and I know I got it from a reference, and I don't know if it was an IEEE document or if it was actual testing where we recorded. I'm going to search for 165 dB. It's all my PowerPoints. 165 dB. I think I would feel comfortable referencing this because it's an NFPA document. Although the annex, this blue material could be just as wrong as anything that you and I write because none of this has had public review.
And this blue material is what? Like, is an example? Oh, okay. It's not part of the standard, right?
It's not part of the standard. It's enhanced content that was created by NFPA.
Yeah, that's the thing, because I don't have access to NFPA link. I can't see this blue stuff. I was looking now through my copy. I can't see this blue stuff. Okay, this explains it. And in Annex K, they don't have it. They don't have, or Annex F, I guess they talk about hazards. I was looking through Annex F, they don't have it.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see if there was an IEEE document as well that we could reference. You know, it would be great to have. I mean, that information came from somewhere, and I got a lot of references. I mean, I have a lot of content on my hard drive, but that references the 165.
Be hard to find it, yeah.
But I don't have, let me try this. There was this is the 2021, Control F, 165 dB. All right, I love it. It found it in the, it says it found it in there, but it's probably just found the 165. I wonder if I put quotes around it. All right, so we need a good, oh wait, what's this? Here's a Hugh Hoagland presentation. 165. 165. Okay, so this is, there was a Hugh Hoagland presentation who also uses the 165 number. He says a 40 to 50 Ka arc blast can create 165 dB sound wave. Now that's not measured, so, and that's the only reference. So he uses 165 as well. So it's not, it is, and that was from the 2020, let me look at his 2020 paper. Whoop. ESW 2020-04. And every time I click on it, I come back to his presentation and not the paper. So, yeah. Okay. I think we would be safe in saying sound levels can exceed 160, and maybe we throw 160 at the end of this table. We could say, we can say.
So according to the Canadian standard, Tom, they said exceeding 130 decibels, not 160. So I guess this is something that can substantiate.
Well, where did they come up with it? Is it in positive text or is it also commentary, just like the 160?
It's in the annex material.
Yeah. So it's not, I mean, it's an opinion, no different than NFPA, no different than Hugh Hoagland. All three of those are just opinions of somebody. So here's what I would do. You know what? When I run across stuff like this, instead of reporting something as gospel, I would have a hard time saying, oh yeah, 130 is the number, 160 is the number. We could say sound levels of arc flash events have been reported as being as high as or higher than various decibel levels. The following references pinpoint numbers in this regard as follows. And what is it? Z468?
462.
462. Z462, 130 decibels, right?
Yeah,
NFPA,
exceeding. They said exceeding.
Yeah. Exceeding. So arc flash sound levels can exceed 130 decibels. 70E sound levels can exceed 160 decibels. Sound levels can exceed 160 decibels. ESW now, I think it's 2020-04. So let me go to 2020. And I'll get Hugh Hoagland's IEEE paper.
But I mean, just being the devil's advocate, do you really think we need to get that to that level of detail and 130, 160, 165? I don't know.
Put it this way, I think it adds value. That there is, I think the value is that we don't calculate that number. We don't know what that number is as a solid fact. So I wouldn't want to state anything in regard to arc flash unless I knew as a fact. Do you know what I'm saying? And the fact really is that we don't know. We have like say 3 different documents or 3 different industry references that reference something different. So I don't think it. I think a brief little statement on this can add value. and information, because maybe that stimulates someone to say, what are those values? And we should do some testing. Don't you think?
Oh yeah, it's okay. I just feel it might just be more confusing than helping people because the numbers are very
But the
close.
whole,
And like you said, this is not
the only problem is our entire table is speaking to sound levels. If we don't say what we think the arc flash sound level is, then this table means nothing. I mean, the whole point of putting this reference in is to make the correlation that, look, an arc flash event is not 80 decibels. It's not like a garbage disposal running. It's not like rustling of leaves. And it could very well be in the jet takeoff and above, basically, is what we're saying. But we can't say it's 130. I think it's fair to say, look, we found the 130 number, we found a 160 number. And you know what? In that 165 is not in Hugh's IEEE paper. It was his presentation for ESW 2024. We can say that. I'd like to put an industry reference, right? And I'll put the reference in. So I'll put a note so that we can figure out how to do the title. And then we already have that, and we have that, so 70E. At least we have some industry references to say, look, we believe it's somewhere between 130, 160. I don't have any test data. I thought we did. You know what? We did do testing, and we had the case 1, 2, and 4. I think it was test 1, 3, and 4. I think test 4 was the most explosive one. Let me look at what.
We'll never trip that breaking.
Oop, hold on, sorry about that.
We'll never trip that breaking point itself.
All right. No, that's. Let me find the presentation. Let me find it. Because I think the sound was chapter. I think that would be chapter 2. Yes. All right. So the testing that we did for the event. So we did an arc flash event. We did, not us, but it was the IEEE when they were doing the research back in the day. They measured 141.5 decibels at the ears for an event. And then they added current limitation and they reduced it, but the worst case was 141.5. So those numbers, 130, 160, and then, but I don't have a good, I don't know if it was in the paper. Let me just do IEEE paper from 2002 that introduced equations. 141.5 decibels may be in there. I'm just going to put those 4 references. So, but the important thing is that it's all over the board, and you're up in the jet takeoff and the aircraft carrier, fireworks, custom car stereo system, gunshot, etc. Now that does the relationship between the sound table and an arc flash event.
Okay, so I guess I'll need the information for those papers that you're referring to, because I'm just not going to say paper by Paul Hoagland.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Sorry, yeah. So as I say, I need those paper information. East W, okay? This is the one.
Yeah. You should have
because I'm not going to say by Hugh Hoagland and Paul Sullivan. I just need the paper, right, to reference it properly.
Yeah. Do you have the PDF from the event? I mean, did you go to 2020 or no?
2020, I can find it online. 2020 was, yeah, we were there. It's the one before COVID, right? The one I missed was 2022.
Yeah. So you should have that. And if not, I mean, I know I have it on my hard drive somewhere here. So.
And
it was the presentation, though. It was in his presentation.
Yeah, we can reference the presentation, right? It's not a.
Yeah.
It's not the paper. If it's not in the paper, we can reference the paper that doesn't have the information.
Yeah, I will, and then I'll search. So I'll either we go with these 2 references. If I can find I'll take a look back at 2002 paper and see if the 141 is referenced. I'd love to have actual test data. You know, we could state these 2, but it would be great to say, here was the results of test data as per whatever document, and then go that route. But I will look it up.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
I'm going to show no markup. All right. What else? What's next?
Well, I was just looking now. I think I found a table that is more concise, succinct than the one that we have. I just even have to change the table again. So you know what? Let me just put this in the chat. It's an interesting link for you. Here you go. If you check this link, this is like the Library of Medicine. Talks about noise and noise loss, noise-induced hearing loss. The title of the article is.
Noise-induced hearing. So you put it in a chat. Hold on. There we go. There it is.
I was looking for the 120 decibel that says the CDC in my text, but I didn't have a reference for it. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, a sound pressure level of 120 decibel or higher can result in immediate hearing damage. So I came across this article citing the same thing. But interesting enough, I can't find the CDC reference online.
Miscellaneous concert 120. Where do you see CDC? Is it in here?
It's okay. Right before the table. Reference number 29. If you read the text, the last sentence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but then if you click this link, it's not valid anymore. It took me to a different link, but the different link I can't find the information in the new link. It's just frustrating.
That's the bad part about. That's why if we can make references documents, those will last longer than a web page. That's the challenge with web pages, right there.
Then you think CDC is a credible reference. They should have it. Definitely not.
Yeah,
So
well,
I'm thinking I
they
can
may have it somewhere, but it's since it's a web page and people change web pages and web links, that page could exist somewhere. But this page, which is not a CDC document, just doesn't include it.
But this is a paper, actually. We can refer this paper because you have access to a free paper
Yeah.
through the Library of Medicine or whatever.
Yep. All right.
And I'm
so
thinking, what do you think? Do you like this table better or the one that I have in our paper? I'm thinking
I
maybe
like
this
ours.
is.
I like ours. I think our, where's ours at? I wouldn't put too much time in it. I think we capture the essence of it. The only thing that this doesn't include is the time, right? For how
And
long.
this just it's complicated.
Yeah.
I feel it's complicated.
But we do state that up above, right? That sound, where's the sound? Where's our paragraph on sound?
To the left. Yes, to the left of the table.
That's blast.
I didn't.
Oh, here
Yeah,
it is.
this
When metal and
I don't
gases
have any time information.
we should put this, but over here. When metals and gases are instantly, according to the CDC, a sound pressure of 120 or higher. Oh, there's your reference.
Yeah, but I got this from the annex of Z462. I don't have. I was trying to find the CDC reference, and this is how I landed on that paper that I shared with you. The 120 decibel thing.
Yeah. All right. We'll have to find. We got to find that reference. This we need to find this. Need to find this reference. All right. As a result, the U.S. occupational OSHA, we found this one, so that was good.
Yeah.
Examples of different sound levels and their impact on table fit. Sound levels of arc flash events have been reported as being as high or higher than various decibel levels, depending upon the reference. These sound levels are not recorded. Study has not been found of recorded sound levels for arc flash events. Has not been located. Following references are the best. This research can identify, which I think it's a true and factual statement. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
All right. Okay, then we go into. I'll look for those references. Then we go into light energy. Our term arc flash was coined from bright light. Okay. Did we go over this one already? I think we did. I don't think there's anything in
We
here.
did. No, we did. So we did. We're supposed. We are. I still have issue with the thermal burn because I didn't have a chance to go through find the references there because we talked about this. Remember the table that you have with the. I still don't have a reference for.
Oh, the first degree and second degree burns?
Yeah, because this is the one, remember, that you couldn't find and I haven't looked yet. I added these two links that we found during our discussion yesterday,
Yeah,
but I
that's
haven't
right.
read through them yet.
Yep. All right.
Because I need to figure out if we're adding the table that you have in your education material or not. If we can reference. You remember the table with the Fahrenheit, the degrees in temperature in Fahrenheit, and how much time it takes to get a burn, second and third degree burns.
Yeah, and that was from that was from this, if I'm not mistaken, that, geez, oh man, some of this. If I'm not mistaken, that was from a table like this, right?
Yeah, no, this was the table, but then the reference is not credible.
It was the anti-scald organization.
Yeah. And the two references that they have in this article, both of them are no longer available online.
Yeah, it's just and it's just like that CPSC one. You know, it's like we can't use this because we can't find that CDC reference. So
but you have a paper that referenced it, and the paper was reviewed.
Well,
so
that's the same as this. I mean, we have that other reference too. That I don't know.
But the other one is a manufacturer with a table. So in question the manufacturer information, but this is if it's something published in the National Library of Medicine.
I know. I just question it. I mean, if it was published, we should find it. I don't like to reference stuff that's not. If we can't find it, then how do you defend it? You know what I'm saying? That's my only. It's my only issue. And someone's going to review our paper, and when they review our paper and say, "Well, that reference doesn't exist," that's a valid comment. We need.
That's why I wasn't going to put a reference that doesn't exist. I just would put a reference to a paper, not the reference that doesn't exist here. Yeah,
we've really got to find that CDC information or change this because it discredits, in my opinion, the published document that we're referencing. If their data can't be substantiated, then we can't say, well, I'm going to reference a paper that I know I can't find the data for and say, well, it's good because it's peer reviewed. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody obviously made a mistake there. So I just have an issue. We got to find, if we can find that, I'd rather go straight to CDC and forget about that paper. Where did that paper come from?
The National Library of Medicine. It's in a chat.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
A whole bunch of doctors.
We'll try to. That's the problem with doctors. They don't check their references.
I know.
They make this stuff up, right? And you just can't do that.
Sure.
We're going to teach them a lesson. Yep. We're not going to be that careless in our paper. All right. We got to find that reference. Thermal burn. So the thermal burn. Another example is touching so we've got to find thermal. There's got to be a lot of research on thermal burns. I just find it thermal burn chart. I'm going to do a quick search. Did you go through and there's EB medicine? See, again.
No, I haven't had a chance to do this. I spend my time in between, fixing the page, just making all the edits and did the sound part. I haven't done the thermal burn yet. All
right. Everything I find it comes from the same like. Well, this is the National Institute of Health. That should be good. All right, so we have to find the tables for that. It's probably going to come from a medical resource. Anyway, all right, so we've got to find those. We've got those. Now we were into risk acceptance, right?
We've done this already. Yeah, you can go through
this
one. We
discussed
okay. Childhood, teenage, single, young professional. I just made it in a format.
We in risk management then?
We did risk management.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, we did all this, and I made all the changes. We are should that subtitle E, hierarchy of risk control. This is where we need to pick it up from, because everything else we went through yesterday or Wednesday or Friday.
These risk controls are prioritized in order.
Hierarchy of risk control is where we're standing now.
C or E?
No, E. The one that you're showing now, hierarchy of risk control.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, you were just stating what you were seeing. I thought you were telling me to go somewhere.
No. Okay. We did the whole thing. So this is where we stopped.
Controls are order of their effectiveness, as depicted in Figure 2. Where's Figure 2? Where's Figure?
And this is the one that you gave me.
Oh,
We
I
need to
made
fix
this.
really.
This
Yeah,
figure,
this is yours.
Where's Figure 2?
And I
Oh,
got
there.
these ones from the internet.
1, 2, 3. Okay, so which one's? I think this one was mine, right?
The top one is yours, and it has
Okay.
all 6 levels. I kept the other 2 because the second one, I liked the description that they added next to the pyramid, which is, I guess, similar to yours. The last one is, remember we had a discussion of a lot of other industries use 5 steps only. They combine awareness and administrative controls. So if you scroll to the third one, this is, I like that one. I was going to use that one, but then I realized it's only 5, not 4, not 6.
Yeah.
So it's kind of part of what we
and
discussed, and I thought maybe we can talk about.
all I did was I because we're talking about electrical, so I put in the, whenever we say hazard, we have to make sure we're talking about the electrical hazard, not just a hazard in general. So because the whole document's on electrical, right?
Well, but at this point, I guess I was describing it in general because we used ladder examples and other things. So, I mean, we can still use some general stuff and then talk more about electrical. But I guess, we like with the definition of the hierarchy risk control, it was, I guess I made it sound general enough that it applies everywhere.
Ooh.
But then I used some
We have to be
electrical
careful of
examples.
that. Yeah, I think we have to be careful because we're talking electrical. We used some other examples to relate it to convey and help somebody understand, but our paper is only focused on electrical. We use the example of a ladder to understand risk in terms that we understand. But when we talk about specific actions of risk control and things of that nature, we're only focused on electrical. Now, if we wanted to help somebody understand the hierarchy of risk and relate it, then we could do that. But I think we need to focus and make sure that we keep the right context. Do you know what I mean?
I just have to read what I have because it's more generic in nature. So what is this reference?
I would say electrical hazards. Hierarchy of risk control is a systematic approach. These risk controls are prioritized in order of their effectiveness. Figure 2, hierarchy of risk control methods and examples of how they are being implemented in the context of electrical safety are listed in Table 4. So now we've because we're talking about the electrical hazards here, and you focused in on electrical safety here. So we're keeping it focused and keeping our sphere of influence.
I don't know. I would disagree with adding electrical hazards because this is when we're defining it, it's general. We can just say electrical because this would mean it's only for electrical hazards, but the method is applicable everywhere. So if we're talking about definition, I don't think we should add electrical.
Wait, say that again. You said in the definition, in this paragraph, you're talking this, are we focused on this paragraph?
You added electrical before hazards, right?
Up here I did.
Potential.
Up here I did. I didn't add it down here. Up here, yes.
So I'm talking about up there, it shouldn't, my opinion, because we talk about the method in general. It's not just for electrical hazards. It's just the definition of, how it works.
The definition of how what works?
The hierarchy risk control. It's not just electrical, it's for everything.
Is that defined
so I
in
guess
70?
In the definition,
is it defined in 70E? Are you referring, when you say it's defined, where are we defining it? Is there a definition in 70E? Or are you saying we're defining the hierarchy of risk control?
No, this is not in 70E. I found this online. I looked around and tried to come up with a definition that conveys what it is. It's not in 70E. I don't think they're defining it.
Let's take a look. Did you search it?
They don't have a definition for it, I believe. This was just my description.
I was just asking if you had searched it. That's all my question was.
I did, yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay. Let's see. I know there's a section in there.
But all the information that they have in 70E is mainly in the annexes, and it's not written well written, I would say.
Yeah, they use it in the definition of a risk assessment.
Yeah, it's Annex
In
F.
Article 100, Article 100 says an overall process that identifies. I hate when it just moves on you. Gosh. Risk. An overall process that identifies hazards, estimates the likelihood of occurrence of injury, damage, health, estimates the potential severity. Yeah. Hierarchy of risk control is a systematic approach for identifying and ranking six risk controls, protective measures, to safeguard workers from potential. So you're saying that you want to focus this on all hazards, not just electrical hazards.
I think if you talk about the hierarchy of risk control in general, it would be
the
fair
hierarchy
to
of risk
say
control, then that's good. Let's do that. In
potential
general,
hazards.
let's just say, in general, is a systematic approach. Now, we've stated that that's a general statement, but we're going to only focus on the electrical aspect of hazards of risk control in this paper. This paper is not about all hazards. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to imply, we're not implying that we are going to be talking about the systematic approach for identifying 6 risk control methods from all hazards. But if we just say in the beginning, in general, now we've basically established that that is a general aspect. Is that good?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think the title of the paper, everything we're doing, is not implying anything. It's just the definition of a method that it's used everywhere.
Yeah.
If you want to keep in general, it's fine, but I think
Okay.
it's redundant.
All right. Well, I'd feel more comfortable putting in general in there because just like you explained it, you used the same words. So that's what keyed me to it. Now it helped me feel better about just making that statement general. So that means hierarchy of risk control methods and examples of how they are implemented in the context of electrical safety are. So now we've narrowed it down to just electrical safety. So we take a general statement up above, in general, and we've narrowed it that we are going to focus on electrical safety only. You agree?
Yeah, okay. More details.
You go with that?
Yeah, I'm just waiting you to continue.
No, I asked you a question. So I said we're narrowing it down to electrical. Are you good with that? Yes or no?
Yeah, because I wrote this section, Tom.
All right, perfect.
Yes.
I just want to make sure. Then the answer was yes. It was an easy yes. All right, and then table 4 is the hierarchy of risk control methods for just electrical, right? Establish an electrically safe work condition. De-energize, that's elimination.
By the way, I think I only have 6 minutes left because you said you have a hard stop.
Yeah. Is there so what do you want to cover? Is there something you want to go to real quick?
I'm not sure if we can do it. I just want to give you a heads up. We have 6 minutes left, and I think you said you have another meeting. So I don't know if we should stop here and continue tomorrow,
okay.
I guess. Or do you want to do something quick? The one thing I wanted to discuss in this table, because you may remember our discussion. So if you scroll up a little bit, I have this title in yellow above the table highlight. Yeah, so there's just some of the points that we discussed during our call, like maybe a month ago or so. Like how other industries only use 5 risk control methods. We still need to write this somehow. And then you talked about the complex logout tagout versus simple lockout tagout, which is interesting because I couldn't find it in Canadian standard. I guess it's 70. It's not defined. It's just
That's-
mentioned in the standard. And
Yeah,
then
it's
we talked about.
I can give
Right.
you a section complex lockout tagout is
I found it,
section-
but they're not defining it. It was just
complex
mentioned in the text.
yeah. Complex lockout tagout is section 120.5A5. Whoop. So that's 120.5A5 is the reference for complex lockout tagout. And there's a whole set of procedures whenever it gets kind of complicated, because you have multiple energy sources, multiple crews, multiple crafts, multiple locations. Those are your examples of when you have a complex lockout tagout. We'll see examples of when a lockout tagout procedure becomes complex is when one or more of the following exists. Whoa, Control Z. Did you see that?
I did.
Woo.
So, Tom, I have a question. Do we
Unfortunate.
need to get into the details of complex lockout tagout? Because this was just a discussion, I think. Like this, I don't feel this is relevant to what we're doing. This was something, I guess we were talking about whether lockout tagout is elimination or administrative control, right?
Yeah, but my only thought process is if you can avoid a complex lockout tagout situation, if you can design a system that keeps it simple, and a simple lockout tagout would be a disconnect right in front of the piece of equipment that you're dealing with, right? So if I can put a disconnect right there, I lock and tag out that one source, I'm done. The moment you start making a system complex all overall, then you are creating and fostering these complex scenarios that are just prone to mistakes. So you got multiple disconnects. If I can isolate my equipment soon and quick and easy, I'm good. Also, if I do that, if I put that disconnect right in front of, say, an industrial control panel, if I put the disconnect right next, take it out of the equipment, put it right next to it, I can establish an electrically safe work condition with a single disconnect. I don't have to worry about multiple employers, multiple locations, crafts, crews. I don't have to worry about multiple crews because I am a point on point. So I can simplify my lockout tagout procedures if I design the system correctly.
So this text, did you get this text from NFPA 70 or where does that come from?
This list?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I took it right out of 120.5A5.
Okay. So I think, yeah, because I guess I have to go online because I was looking through the hard copy when back in the day when they had PDFs. I guess 2018 is the one I'm looking at. They don't have it there, so it's new information, new material. Like I said.
Yeah, there's a whole section on lockout tagout and complex. Now they don't say. What they don't do is say, here's how you do a simple lockout tagout, here's how you do a complex lockout tagout. They describe lockout tagout procedures, and then they give you this special scenario that if it's complex, when you have multiple, and the big one, I think, is the multiple energy sources, especially. When you have UPSs on site, photovoltaics, wind, and all these other aspects of sources of energy, that creates a very difficult situation for the electrical worker. So, and that's why I think if you nail it down to, you have a piece of equipment that has a disconnect, probably a part of the equipment. If you just said, look, I don't want that disconnect in the equipment, put it outside the equipment. Even if they sold it where you had the square box you're working on, and then right next to it is another square box where you have the disconnect, you can establish an electrically safe work condition, and all of the complexity of the entire distribution system goes out the window, unless that box is the one that has multiple sources, right? So there's levels where you can't get away from this. Like we have a double-ended switchgear, or you have a panel board where you're backfeeding a breaker. Those types of scenarios, when the multiple sources are in the equipment that you're working, that makes it difficult. But when they're not in the equipment, you can simplify life for the electrical worker if you just add a disconnect. So that's why I think the complex lockout tagout procedure discussion is probably relevant to this paper only, because we're talking about dealing with, you may have all of these different things, all of these different configurations to create a reliable power system. You have UPSs, you have wind, you have energy storage systems, and all that stuff. But if you don't think about the electrical worker, then you've created a problem for establishing an electrically safe work condition, because now it's pretty complicated. That's the trade-off stuff. Make sense?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where to put it in this paper. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, we're talking about it. We talk about hierarchy of risk controls. I think it probably fits in hierarchy of risk controls. That's 901. I'm going to have to run. All right.
Yeah, I know. Okay. So I guess we'll talk tomorrow same time, right?
Yeah, same time. We'll have a little bit more time tomorrow morning. And I'll take a look at this and try to work that in.
So that was good. All right.
Cool beans. Thank you, Nehad.
Yeah, so, take care. Have a good day.